This is On the Line, and I'm Eric Felton. Nigeria is facing serious threats from extremism. So said U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Rodham Clinton visiting Abuja this month as part of a whirlwind Africa trip. The Islamist group Boko Haram operates out of northern Nigeria and continues attacks on civilians. Boko Haram has killed over 650 people so far this year. How big a threat is extremism in Nigeria? And what help, if any, did Secretary of State Clinton offer in talks with Nigeria's president? I'll ask my guests. Assis Malaquias, Academic Chair for Defense Economics at the Africa Center for Strategic Studies. And Keyen, Head of VOA's Hausa Language Service. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Assis, who is Boko Haram?
Boko Haram is an extremist organization in Nigeria. They've been conducting all sorts of activities, most of them very violent, over the last few months. And the Nigerian government has been trying to do whatever it can to put Boko Haram in its place so that they can reassert control and bring back peace and stability, especially to northern Nigeria.
Leo, what kinds of attacks have Boko Haram been perpetrating?
Well, starting from the days they started with ragtag, bikes throwing, locally manufactured bombs. Today they've gone sophisticated. They're wiring up vehicles and bombing major buildings, like you saw, like the United Nations building, like the This Day newspaper, building. These are some of the things that we see. And then they also have attacks, coming out like in Damaturu and Potiskum to attack the public generally and engage the military, task forces in open battles. These are the kind of things we see today. They have grown really sophisticated,
And what's the sense, Assis, about how Boko Haram has been growing more sophisticated? Are there connections with other terrorist groups?
There are some indications that indeed Boko Haram is reaching out to other terrorist organizations in that part of the world around the Sahel. There's even indications that they may be reaching out to Al-Qaeda. So yes, these are very worrisome indications indeed. And it's very important that we keep a very, very close eye on Boko Haram and how it's developing. So if it reaches beyond Nigeria, it makes those trans-Sahelian connections, then we may be in for a lot more trouble than we already are seeing.
Well, Leo, how big a threat is Boko Haram to Nigeria itself?
Well, Boko Haram is a threat to Nigeria because it's touching the fabric of the nation itself. It's questioning the national chemistry. What I'm trying to say here is that Boko Haram is not, at the moment we don't see it trying to gain territorial control. They are fighting in every city that matters in northern Nigeria. Kano, Kaduna, Jos, Maiduguri, all the cities. And it would appear that their target is to take over northern Nigeria, like they say, impose an Islamic theocracy there, and then rule. But whether this is practicable is what people are asking about. First of all, you're asking Christians to move out of the area. You are saying that you want to Islamize the northern part of Nigeria. Then, obviously you're talking of territorial occupation. This, to a lot of people, is frightening. But the truth of the matter is that Boko Haram is so multi-layered that you can't really separate it from religion, from poverty, from tribalism, and from corruption. All these things come into play when you're looking at what Boko Haram is doing in Nigeria. So it's a very complex organization at the moment because the leaders are on the ground. There's nobody that has come forward to dialogue with anybody, except, of course, recently when we heard that Abubakar Shekau and his deputy have decided to accept to dialogue with the federal government of Nigeria. Whether this is true or not is yet to be seen.
Well, see, if Boko Haram is a very complicated organization, does the U.S. have a strategy for helping Nigeria that recognizes the complexity of the situation and is multi-layered enough to deal with the various issues?
The United States is engaged in Nigeria. In fact, the United States has a strategic dialogue with Nigeria, and I'm pretty sure that Boko Haram has come up several times in this dialogue. The United States also, as you know, has a broader strategy for sub-Saharan Africa, where the issue of terrorist organizations, Al-Qaeda and terrorist organizations, is prominently featured in this strategy. So yes, very much so. The United States government, this administration, is doing everything it can to help Nigeria tackle this threat. It's in the interest of the United States, it's in our own national interest to ensure that we have Nigeria as a friendly state. We want it to be strong, stable, so it continues to develop.
Leo, when Secretary of State Clinton was in Abuja, the aides talked about that part of her talks with President Goodluck Jonathan were about trying to help intelligence issues of sharing information, helping Nigerian security officials use the kinds of strategies, computer-based strategies for intelligence efforts. Is that going to make much of a difference?
Well, I think so. Never mind the fact that Hillary Clinton was in Nigeria for just about 2 hours. Some people call it a stopover, others say it's a hop over. But what is important is the content of our discussion with the Nigerian officials. Let me tell you what happened. From our reports, we noticed she spoke with two important categories of people in Abuja. Apart from Goodluck Jonathan and his cabinet, she also spoke to the security agency leaders and spoke to the anti-corruption agency in Nigeria. Now, for the first one, it's clear that Nigeria's intelligence gathering is the weakest arm of security in Nigeria. Everybody knows that. They have always been on the side of arresting or checking things when they've already happened. So intelligence gathering, I think, is the important area that the U.S. can help. And I think that is the evidence of what we are seeing today, like the discovery of manufacturing factories of bombs in Kano this week, in Maiduguri last week. Some of these things are results of security operations that are not open to everybody to know. The second part of it is the anti-corruption agencies that are not doing their jobs. We're talking about good governance here because she spoke about good governance as one of the key solutions to terrorist organizations in Nigeria. People are very aware of the fact that there are very few people living very rich lives, and the majority of the people are wallowing in the dark, in abject poverty, people living below $1 a day. And there are those who have all sorts of affluence, you know, riding jets and all sorts of things in Nigeria. People do that. So this dichotomy is just part of the things that fuel and make people to become violent.
Well, let's see, so often people talk about the resource curse, a country like Nigeria where there's so much wealth to be had from oil, and then a few people capture that wealth. What's your sense of how important this issue of fighting corruption that Leo talks about is to the broader issue of sort of healing Nigeria and taking away any support for terrorist activities?
It's key. It's very, very important because corruption provides legitimacy for organizations that can present themselves to be righting a wrong. When you have corruption, when you have a culture of impunity, it's very easy for an extremist organization to use demagoguery to capture important segments of the population. So clean government, good governance is absolutely key to deny these organizations of a pretext for actually attacking the state. So it's very important. Everybody wins when you have clean governance. Everybody benefits when you have no corruption. And for the sake of the people who now have to face terrorist organizations, they're saying, look, we have a responsibility to clean up house, so to say. So you have a situation now that unless certain important steps are taken to demonstrate to the populace that, yes, we are working for the benefit of all. Unless that happens, terrorist organizations may find fertile ground to conduct their operations.
Assis Malaquias of the Africa Center for Strategic Studies and Leo Keyen of VOA's Hausa service. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good to be
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you.